from the song Without Words of Opus 62, number 6.
CSL, and good morning to our viewers that are watching from home. Glad to see you this morning on this gorgeous, gorgeous day. What a beautiful spring day, and what a perfect song to welcome it. So I want to introduce our musicians. They are Terry O'Hare on piano, and of course you just heard Bienvenido Yangco, and Terry Bienvenido plays the clarinet for us, and Stephan Plummer is our soloist today. So let's welcome our musicians and give them some appreciation. On platform with me is Reverend Matthew. He's going to be doing our meditation, and then our practitioner for the day is Mona Williams. So we're going to have a wonderful, blessed service today, and we're going to start out with our opening song by Stephan, which was written by Sam Cooke, who passed this past year. So we remember Sam with his classic song, A Change Is Gonna Come.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Tacoma. It's a beautiful day. If I can keep this mic going, it keeps... Okay, it'll be fine. So this is a song that Sam Cooke wrote. Actually, I think it was one of his last songs before he passed away. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, and I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long, long time coming, and I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. And I go to my sister, and I say, sister, won't you help me, please? You know, sometimes she winds up knocking me down on my knees. Oh, there have been times when I thought I couldn't last for long, and now I know that I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, and I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. All right, Terry. And I go to the movies, and I go downtown. Somebody keeps telling me, hey, don't hang around. But it's been a long, long time coming, and I know change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I know it will. Change is gonna come. Yes, it will.
We're going to do something interesting, and that is we're going to move up Bev's class a week and open the class on April 27th, right? That would be Tuesday night. So do you want to come up and give it a little chat about that class? This is really the most important class we teach here. It's how we got our roots from a very significant transcendental movement, from the idealist philosophy of Plato. This is what makes what religious science is so worthwhile. So, Beth, tell them about your class.
I don't need to say anymore. We just wanted to make sure that everybody gets a chance to register, so that's why we put it back a week. But I just wanted to kind of paint a little picture for you. 80 years ago, Ernest Holmes was studying the great transcendentalists. He studied Emerson and Thomas Troward. And then he actually studied with Emma Curtis Hopkins in the, what is it? Not religious science. Divine science, yes. And then we have the opportunity to study all these, plus, of course, Holmes himself. And Holmes made quite a few, he did quite a few radio shows. He made quite a few speeches that were recorded, and it's really interesting to listen to him. And so New Thought includes mystical minds that go back 1,500 years before the Common Era and all the way to the present. So we have a lot to choose from. We won't be able to read it all, unfortunately. But if you join us, I'm sure that you will get inspiration from at least one or two of these authors because they are all amazing. So you can sign up at csltacoma.org, and we'll see you there. It's called From Whence We Came. Thank you for asking.
Okay. I want to just tell you about our auction that's coming up, and Kathy Phillips is right here in the room. She's chairing this amazing thing, and Leslie is on the planning committee. It's going to be virtual, which is going to be a first for us. It's challenging, to say the least, but on Wednesday, I'll be sending out a notice to our entire mail list about it. We'd like you to buy a ticket, which is $25, general admission. That gets you into the auction. And it's a fundraiser for us, and we really need this each and every year. So we're asking that you purchase a ticket online. It'll be available. I'm going to try to get it on the front page of our website so you don't have to go searching. I'm searching. We don't want to do that. It's May 22nd, but before May 22nd, you get a chance to bid online starting on Monday, May 16th, all the way through auction day. And so we've got some fabulous items lined up. The board has got this fabulous experience where you get picked up by a town car, and then you're taken to the Wild Fin for dinner, which is a great restaurant, and then you get to go to a movie for two, and then you're picked up by the town car again and taken home. It's really a fun evening. So that's one of the many experiences that are available for our auction. You might even get to see Bigfoot. For sure, you're going to get to see Stephan Plummer and Terry, and you'll get to hear a lot of the Hootin' Annie songs. And that's the name of our event, Hootin' Annie. And I think you're going to have a blast, even if you're watching online. And so it's a kind of navigation. You need to have your cell phone to go online, right, Leslie? Or some device. Yeah, and then we're going to be streaming the entire event from CSL, so you'll get to see the music. It's a real concert of songs, really wonderful music that night. So mark your calendars for May 22nd and be expecting information. We invite you to go to your neighbors and friends and just pass the invitation on so that everybody can get a ticket. Our goal is 100 tickets for this event, at least. Okay? So thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. It's going to be a fun event. And by the way, on Sunday the 15th, if you want to preview the items personally, you can come to service and go downstairs, have a few snacks, maybe a glass of wine, and see the auction items for real, in the flesh and blood. So anyway, it's going to be a great time. So thank you for your support. And is there anything else I need to say right now? I don't think so. We're going to, huh? Oh, my, thank you. The why, it's inserted in your program. You know, J. Michael Gottney, who was on our board and also a practitioner, came up with this retreat, and he did some work with the practitioners several years ago, and it was very significant. It's very significant to know why you're on this planet and what your purpose is. And having a higher purpose is so important. And so this is a fabulous little retreat from 1 to 5. It's May 1st, Saturday, May 1st. And you can sign up online. We invite you to do so. And it's really the path of all inspiring leaders and why they're so successful. They have a personal why for what they do in the world. So, invite you to be a part of this. This came out of our leadership council and the work of the uh, interdisciplinary committee. We felt it was a wonderful way to uh, bring our leadership together in this purposeful event. So I invite you to come to it. All right, we're going to go to our opening prayer with Mona Williams, and that will be followed by a meditation on Earth Day by Matthew.
This beautiful day, the day that God has made. I know that there is only one magnificent and all-purposeful life, and that life is the life of God. And I know that I am living that life, and as I know that I'm living that life, I know that each person that is within the sound of my voice is also living the life of God. I'm knowing and declaring right here and right now that this day is a beautiful day. It is a gracious day. It is a day filled with love, with joy, with understanding, and that divine right action is taking place right here and right now. So I'm knowing that whatever it is that's on your heart, all you need to do is ask, speak it into existence. Divine right action is already taking place. And I know that today, this service, divine right action is taking place right here and right now. I know that the words that Reverend Francis speaks today, the music that we hear today, that it's all blessed. And that each person, each thing that is said is also the blessing. And so I release my word. I say thank you today. Thank you for this day. Thank you for Reverend Francis, for each one of the musicians. Thank you for each person that is here, for each person that is within the sound of my voice. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for being gracious and loving and caring and kind. And so now I release my word into the full activity of love and law, knowing that what I've declared is already done. I let go, and I let God take the wheel and anchor it by saying, and so it is.
I'd like to take that beautiful prayer into meditation. I'd like to invite you to allow your eyes to gently close. And let's turn towards our breath. Just allowing our breath to take us to that place within us that is still, that is calm, that is ordered, that is always beautiful. As we move towards Earth Day, to see the earth right here and right now in your mind. Form that beautiful picture. That beautiful picture that was taken from the moon. And just behold what's before you. See the sun shining on the earth. And breathe into that. And let's be reminded this morning that we are one with all of that. There is no separation. Each one of us takes the same breath that the entire earth and the entire universe takes right here and right now. So as you behold that beautiful, beautiful planet before your eyes, let's take it and hold it in our hands and cradle it. And breathe And let's pour over it this morning with pure love and gratitude. Let's see everything as healed and renewed and restored. Let's take witness to this beautiful restoration, to this beautiful healing that is now taking place, that is well underway. And let's say yes to the invitation to take part in this healing, in this restoration, in the restoration of beauty, of order, of life continuing to express itself in beautiful ways, uninhibited by any form of pollution or war or famine or disease. And this morning I'd like to invite you to ask yourself the question, what is mine to do? In what way do I need to participate in the expression of this restoration and this healing? Just notice what shows up. Just notice if any particular word or phrase or action becomes clear to you in your consciousness right now. And as you listen, allow that consciousness that just poured in to move through your arms to your hands while you hold this beautiful planet in your hands. And allow that consciousness to pour over and surround the earth. And do it with joy, with love, with passion. And as we move into this week, I invite you to be open and receptive to that which is yours to do, to that right action, to appreciation, to love, and to be open and receptive to all that life on this planet offers, the way that it sustains us. And just know that it is God in action and you are a part of the entire thing. Behold this truth, behold this consciousness. And let's breathe it in right here and right now. Just allowing the consciousness to fill our lungs and to move out into our entire physical being. And pouring through our hands. Just feel that presence. Just feel your oneness with all that is. So this week I invite you to move forward with an openness, a receptivity, a gratitude, and a willingness to be part of the healing, the restoration, the renewal. And I'm knowing that as you are part of it, everything that needs to be restored and renewed and healed in you is also being done simultaneously. So as we take this into our breath and allow it to expand, let's bring that back to this room right here, right now. And when we're ready, we open our eyes and we allow that to start moving forward here and now. And so it is.
So it is. That's so many pages. No. This song I wrote about the pandemic. It's a positive. I haven't written any negative ones yet about it. My friend heard it. She said, "Why didn't you write a negative song?" No. It's positive right now. It's actually called Overcoming. That's the name of it. The only way around something is through it. So keep on pressing on, 'cause everything is a blessing, including our obstructions. So keep on pressing on. You'll be glad when you look back that you did not give up, overcoming with love, love. I met a man on the road, asked him where he's going. This he told me, I am the light of the world, and so are you. So keep on shining your light. You'll be glad when you look back that you did not give up, overcoming with love, love. Sorry. It's a new song. Can I sing? So keep on shining your light. You'll be glad when you look back. You did not give up, overcoming with love. Keep on shining your light. You'll be glad when you look back. You did not give up, overcome with love, overcome with joy, overcome with peace, overcome with love, overcoming with love. Thank you.
Wow. So today's message is inspired action. A speaker walked up to a podium to address a student body in a small college in South Carolina, and after looking at the audience from left to right, the speaker began saying, "I was born to a mother who was deaf, could not speak. I grew up not knowing my father, and I still don't. The first job I ever had was in a cotton field. The audience was spellbound. The speaker continued, "Nothing has to remain the way it is if that's not the way we want it to be. It isn't luck, it isn't circumstances, it isn't being born a certain way that causes a person's future to become what it becomes." And then she said, "Nothing has to remain the way it is if that's not the way we want it to be. All we have to do is change a situation that brings unhappiness or dissatisfaction to answer the question, how do I want this situation to be?" Then we have to commit totally to personal actions that carry us there. And then a beautiful smile came across the face of the speaker as she said, "My name is A.Z. Taylor Morton. I stand before you today as Treasurer of the United States of America." And for those of you who don't know, A.Z. Taylor Morton was the first and thus far only African American to serve as a U.S. Treasurer. She served under President Carter. And the only African American female whose signature has appeared on U.S. currency. This story is a powerful illustration of this month's theme, the winds of change and turning impediments into empowerment. And we're using a book called The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday as our reference book. So whatever we face in this experience called life, we always have a choice. We can be blocked by obstacles or we can use them as stepping stones. The choice is fully ours. There are countless individuals who have used stepping stones to their greatness, A.Z. Taylor Morton being one of them. And so this month we're using a roadmap for our journey of turning impediments into empowerment. So my invitation to all of you is bring your biggest challenge to the table this month. And let's turn it around. So I hope that's what you're doing. According to Ryan Holiday, moving from impediment to empowerment takes 3 independent and interconnected disciplines that can be boiled down to these: perception, which we talked about last week, action, and then next week we'll conclude with will. So take a careful look right now at the challenges you're facing: a possible layoff, a new career decision, a move. And if you identify those as your problems, there's a tendency to see them as static and burdensome. And maybe you have a feeling of resentment and self-pity. Well, this won't work. So it's important to tune into a different flow of consciousness, to a sense of lightness and clear horizons, of confident expectancy. And it's the same so-called trouble, but your attitude is different. And according to your thoughts, your feeling, it will be done unto you. And this is the mystical teaching that is ages old. It's from whence we came. But it is amazingly relevant. And that's the power of perception in a nutshell. And then again, in the words of A.Z. Taylor Morton, all we have to do to change a situation that brings unhappiness or dissatisfaction is to answer the question, what do I want this situation to be? Then we have to commit totally to personal actions that carry us there. And the fact is, action is commonplace, but inspired action is not. Inspired action is action in service to our greater life. It's action that comes from a higher place within us. And inspired action is that part of a process, and we're going to be describing that in a little bit later. So inspired action is service to our greater life. The greater life that's the answer to the question A.Z. Taylor Morton had to ask, how do I want this situation to be? Or the bigger question, how do I want my life to be? So is it in service to the vision for your life? Inspired action comes from that vision, not from the obstacle in front of you. So when we focus on our greater life, we have a clearer head. And according to Holiday, a clearer head makes for steadier hands, and then those hands have to be put to work. Last night, Mario and I went to dinner, and en route to the downtown Mexican restaurant that we love, Mexico, we saw various homeless encampments. There are tents down streets all the way over on many streets in downtown. And over dinner, Mario expressed his vision of doing more to address the homeless problem. He's especially concerned about how homeless are treated as untouchables, as in the caste system. So after dinner, we arrived at our house and we noticed that our lawn needed mowing. And a man was coming down the sidewalk and past our house, and Mario spoke out loud, "We need to mow the lawn." And from about 20 feet away, where the man had gotten to, he said, "I can mow your lawn." And they exchanged thoughts on mowers and arranged for him to come back on Monday. And he says, "My name is Tyrone. And I just got here and I live in my car on 7th Street. Who should I ask for?" And I said, "Mario. Ask for Mario." So work is needed, the worker appears, a person has a vision for helping the homeless, and a homeless man appears. That's the way it works. Inspired action is an action that comes from a higher place within us. Not from resentment or fear or anger at the obstacle, although you're certainly entitled to have a snit fit over it, but don't take action from that place. That will not be inspired action. Rather, from a place that sees an obstacle as an opportunity, and remembering Einstein's words, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that we used when we created them. Inspired action comes from a place where we're consciously connected to the divine within. And from that place that knows that it knows that it knows, and it knows who and whose we are. It has never been hurt. It has never been betrayed. It has never been lied to. It's never been. There is that place within each one of us, and it's from that place that inspired action comes. Inspired action is also the power to bless others. I had an interesting experience. I was notified a few days ago of the death of who had been my board president in Atlanta, Georgia. That was the very first church I ever had. And she was also a practitioner. Beautiful, beautiful soul. Her name was Wendy Williams. And Reverend Rainbow Johnson wrote a little meditation in the Science of Mind magazine on her, and it was called "My Father Gave It to Me." And it goes like this. Rainbow wrote, "Wendy practices the principles of religious science all day long. She's an inspiration for everyone who comes in contact with her. She got a new car she just loved, and her friend said, 'Wendy, where'd you get that gorgeous new car?' And she said, 'My father gave it to me.' And her friend said, 'Oh, I didn't know your father could afford to give you a brand new car.' She said, 'Oh, yes, he's very wealthy. He has limitless resources, and all I have to do is ask. And he delivers to me exactly what I ask for.' And later, and I was in Atlanta when this incident happened, Wendy was doing a treatment as a practitioner with a friend over the phone who was seeking greater prosperity. And she concluded the call with, "May you be blessed with manna from heaven," which is an allusion to the Israelites that were lost in the wilderness and starving to death, and manna, they think it was some sort of fungus, but you could actually make bread out of it, manna. May you have manna from heaven. And so the friend said, "Yeah, may you too be blessed with manna from heaven." And immediately thereafter, she worked in a boutique store. Someone came in and brought her a $300 check paying off a past debt. And she went outside and said, "What's that falling down on the sidewalk over there?" And her neighbor said, "Well, that's just some trash." And she went to investigate and found two $50 bills and one $20 bill falling down from the sky. And then the bills continued to fall. And Wendy started picking them up. And by this time, other people were picking them up too in the parking lot near the boutique. And when asked why she was so lucky to have this marvelous demonstration of money falling from the sky, she said, "My Father gave it to me. My life is wonderful. My bank account is growing. My health is perfect. My career is successful. My relationships are all loving. Where did I get all this? My Father gave it to me." And then she surprised people all day long in the boutique with gifts of the money she had picked up. $50 bills. So that brings us to the idea of another idea, the third idea of inspired action. It's that it's part of the process. And the process actually comes from Coach Saban, the head coach of the University of Alabama football. And it doesn't focus on what other coaches focus on, or at least not what they do. He teaches what he calls the process. And he says to his players, don't think about winning the championship. Don't even think about the national championship. Think about what you need to do on this play, in this moment. That's the process. Focus on the task at hand. You've got a challenge in front of you. Don't focus on that. Break it down into pieces and do what you need to do right now. And do it well. Then move to the next thing and follow the process, not the prize. The process is existing in the present, taking it one step at a time, not getting distracted by anything else. And as Martin Luther King said once, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. And I know this seems almost too simple, but that's the process. We don't have to scramble like we're so often inclined to do when a difficulty is in front of us. Remember the first time you saw a complicated algebra equation? It was a jumble of symbols and unknowns, but when you stopped and took a breath and broke it down and solved for the variables, all that was left was the answer. And the psalmist wrote, "Thy word will be a lamp unto thy feet and a light unto my path." So when you're stuck in bed recovering from an illness, well, maybe it's time for you to write. Or maybe you've lost your job or a relationship. Give yourself time to grieve, but you can now do all those things that you were putting off. You're having a problem? Now you know exactly what to approach it with through your mentor, your practitioner, or chaplain, and finally make a decision to get someone that you can talk with. Holiday writes, seize this moment to deploy a plan that is laid dormant in your head Every chemical reaction requires a catalyst. So let this obstacle be yours. Troward in the Dore lecture says we have to do our share in the work and not expect God to do for us what he can only do through us. We must make use of this. Try not to force things, but allow them to grow naturally, knowing that they are doing it under the guidance of the all-creating wisdom. So that's what inspired action is. Taken in service to our greater life, it comes from that higher place or vision within us. It's part of the process which is existing in the present, taking it one step at a time and not getting distracted by anything else. So what obstacle? I want you to bring an obstacle to the table right now. And we're going to do a little prayer over it. So, holding whatever obstacle it is in mind, please know this truth, that I am a center in the divine mind. We are each that. I am a center in the divine mind, a point of God-conscious life, truth, and action. And so everything in my life is divinely guided. It is guarded. It is divinely guided into right action and great results. Everything I do or say is stimulated by the truth. And there's power in this word that I'm speaking, for I am speaking the truth. That there is right action in my life and my affairs, and right action has power because it is supported by the living Spirit. And that Spirit animates everything I do, everything I say, everything I think. It sustains me without effort. I am continuously directed. I am compelled to do the right thing at the right time. And for this, I am so grateful. And I release this word and call it good. And together we say, and so it is. God bless you. Thank you.
Let's give Reverend Francis another hand. I was going to look up all these people after she speaks. And then the books and all of that, so.
I am listening to the music of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song God is being. I will listen all day long. I will listen all day long. I am lifted in the love of the Holy Spirit. Oh, what a song
it's time for our offering, and we like to say the blessing that's in your program and on the screen. So together we say, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. And so Benny has a beautiful offering song. My song is Love Unknown by Samuel Crossman, arranged by Dimitri Varelis. Oh, thank you both for that beautiful music. So it's time for our closing prayer, and then we'll hear a closing song from Stephan, which we invite you to sing along with. I give myself permission.
What a blessed day we've had. Spirit fills the room, God fills the room, knowing that right here and right now, that there is the one life, and that is God's life. It is a life of love, it is a life of joy, it is a life of peace, understanding, prosperity, abundance. You put the name on it because God is all there is. So I'm knowing right here and right now that this day has been a blessed day, that Reverend Francis has given us blessed words, that the music has been fantastic, heart-filling. So I'm knowing right here and right now the healing has already taken place. All you need do is ask. Put it on the table. As I was growing up, it says, put it on the altar and let it go. Just ask God for what it is that you need. And all of it is there for you to receive. And so right here and right now, I say thank you. Thank you, God, for being a loving God, a gracious God, a peaceful God, an understanding God. Thank you for the abundance and the prosperity in my life and everyone's life. Thank you for health and wisdom. Thank you for all of this and so much more. And so now I release my word into the full activity of love and law, knowing that what I've declared is already done. And I anchor this truth by saying, and so it is.
This is a classy joint. Benny, wow. I was watching the bee that was on the screen, and the picture's so beautiful, and your music was just perfect. And, your playing was more beautiful than a bee. That's pretty beautiful. Thank you. So this song is, I give myself permission. So just give yourself permission to be yourself, to be your wonderful self, because you are wonderful. And just everything that you do and everything that you're inspired to do, and just give yourself that permission to be free and express yourself. And sing. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to be passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. I give myself permission to be all I can be. I give myself permission to live passionate and free. To live passionate and free. To live passionate and free. Yeah, 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 yeah. Live passionate and free. Yeah.
Thank you all for being here. We'll see you next week. God bless you all.